My name is Christopher Bell, Certified Public Accountant. In this video, we're going to cover accounting for accounts receivable and accounts payable. Now, if you like me, you like the way I teach, you like the way I look, and you want to book a one-on-one session with me, there will be a pinned comment down below, and I will teach you anything you want to know about accounting. Let's talk about the scenario here. So we've got Chris, aka me, on the left, and we've got you, my client, on the right. You want accounting instruction. You want to learn the basics of accounting, or you want to go potentially into advanced accounting. We decide that we're going to meet on Google Meet, and we're going to go on this whiteboard or another whiteboard, and I'm going to teach you whatever you want to learn. So we agree on March 1st, 2023, that we're going to do it. So we meet up, we do the lesson, you learn so much, you're so happy that you take a selfie of yourself, a picture of yourself jumping for joy, and everything's done. But at the end of the lesson, you say, hey, Chris, I actually don't have the cash, and I can pay you later, but I can't pay you right now. And I say, okay, I should have probably asked you for cash up front, but I trust you, you owe me money. Now, how does the accounting work for this? Well, we're going to do it from Chris's perspective, and we're going to do it from your perspective. So on March 1st, 2023, the tutoring session takes place. On the accrual basis of accounting, always remember, revenue is recognized when it is earned. What does earned mean? When you do the work. What is the work in this scenario? Tutoring. I'm teaching you accounting. If I meet you and I teach you accounting and we do the hour session and you're satisfied, boom, I am going to recognize revenue. But since you have not paid me, I have to debit an asset account called accounts receivable. And this tells me that somebody, aka you, owe me money. So I debit accounts receivable for $75. Why is it an asset? Because it's going to result in an inflow of cash when you eventually pay me off. What do I credit? Well, I credit tutoring revenue. That's right, because I have earned the revenue. We met up, we tutored, I taught you, and that's it. I've earned the revenue. So I have my journal entry here, accounts receivable, debit, tutoring revenue, credit for the same amount. We know it's good because it balances. Now let's move on to the student's perspective. Let's say the student maintains their books on the accrual basis of accounting. What does the student do? Well, the student says, okay, I have incurred an expense. Why? Because Chris has provided a service to me, and that means that I owe him. He has done work for me, therefore I owe him money, and I have incurred an expense for myself. So the student would debit tutoring expense for $75. But since they haven't paid me yet, what are they going to credit? They're going to credit accounts payable because they owe me money. If you didn't do this journal entry, you could potentially forget that you owe somebody money, which isn't good. So the student credits accounts payable for $75, and we have our journal entries. Boom, boom, boom. He has an expense, I have a revenue. Now the student on March 31st, 2023, finally decides to pay me. Hey, I've got some money, here's your $75. How do I record this entry? Well, I'm getting cash. I'm getting cash for $75. So on my books, I debit cash for $75. Now that the student doesn't owe me, what do I have to credit? I have to credit the accounts receivable. So I credit that out for $75 as well. I've reversed the accounts receivable. They don't owe me. I can't leave that on my books. I reverse it out. Now, if you did this wrong, you could potentially double book revenue because you would debit cash and just credit revenue again, thinking it was earned again, which it wasn't. You've already earned it on March 1st. So you got to be very careful when you're doing accounting for receivables to make sure you're not double booking revenue. So that's it for my side of the equation. What does the client do? And I'm actually filling in the details here so we know what's a liability. What does the client do? Well, the client is paying cash, so they have to credit cash. What do they debit? You guessed it, accounts payable, because now they don't owe me money anymore. And now everybody's happy, everybody's books are clean, everybody's recorded the proper expenses and revenues, and all the cash is settled. That's how you account for accounts receivable and accounts payable, the very basics. Obviously, it gets more complex. You have discounts and et cetera, which we'll get into one day. But this is the very basics and essence of receivables and payables and the accrual basis of accounting. Hope that makes sense. Hope you learned something. If you want to book a session with me, pin comment down below. I'll talk to you soon.